It's not about 50p. How much is that? I'm in the pound shop. I'm trying to buy something. I keep saying, "What? How much is that?"
It's 10 bob.
Pound.
20 bob.
Bob.
20 bob.
Yeah, 20 bob. Was it bob 5?
Well, yes, it was. A bob was 5. So 10 bob was 50p.
Talk about people not understanding a word we're talking about right now.
No, well, we'll not get into farthings. I think they'd phased them out by the time I was born.
Yeah, I remember my dad used to have a white fiver.
Wow, I've got one. I think
Have you really got a white fiver?
I think I have. I'll have to check. Better edit that one out.
Of course I will. He said. Welcome to the Graphters podcast.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, John. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm not so bad, actually. I'm quite pleased. I've had a good couple of weeks worth of work, which is enough to keep me going for a while. But it's quite I think I'm going to be with them for a while, so that's even better. Makes me even happier. So, yes. I am good, my friend. How about you? How's work for you?
Busy. Very busy.
Mm.
Very
I
busy.
suppose at the minute it's now getting ready for the next scholastic year, isn't it, really? Oh, no, it's kind of started, hasn't it?
Yeah, the new year started, but we're now in the process of having those conversations for next year's budgets and next year's infrastructure installs. So this is the busiest time of year, really, for the ongoing conversations.
So the stuff that you're talking about with them basically is about what they'll be hopefully putting in place next year.
Yes, to prepare them for next year's curriculum rollouts.
Wow.
And at Escape, we're doing a lot of consultancy now, so passing on our expert knowledge. And when I say our, I'm probably not including myself into that. We've got some extremely talented pipeline engineers that, support the industry. So I've managed to harness them and get them working for the educational sector as well, which is brilliant.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That is good to know. I am pleased to know that you've got people there who know what they're doing. And you.
And me, yes.
God, I'm awful. I really am a horrible person. Hot on the heels of the last podcast, but I think there's a lot that we need to unpack. It's been going on. I hope everyone, if anyone's listening, please tell me there's somebody listening. Hope they've enjoyed the podcast of this current season so far. I think there's been a couple of standouts, but it was really nice talking to Thomas, wasn't it?
It was really nice, and we do have people listening. I recently did a visit to a college, and I told them that I'd got a podcast, and they went, "We know, we listen." I was
crikey.
Flabbergasted.
Was your guest well and truly flabbered?
It was flabbered. It was.
I don't know about you, but I think in our current business, there has been a few things which seem to have been kind of set in stone, in such a way that I've assumed they always were going to be set in stone. But stupidly, that was a silly thing for me to think.
Well, change always happens.
It does, yes. But have you any idea what I'm referring to right now?
No.
You do? I'm going to tell you now what it is. There was this game called Unreal. It had a fantastic game in. The people who made the game decided everyone should have a play with the engine. And it became more than just you can mod this to actually being you can build a game in this.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. And it's always been free, up to a certain amount.
Pretty epic.
At which point, yes. Hey! Very good.
I'm here all week.
Yes, I'm very aware of that, unfortunately. At which point, when it reaches about £1 million or $1 million, whatever it is, then you have to pay when your profits reach over $1 million, you then have to pay 5% of your gains, as it were. And I think that's been quite a sensible little model, really, if you think about it. It's not terrible. It's like you can have your first $1 million, but you need to share 5% of whatever comes after that. And I don't think that's very, very bad. But what it has done, obviously, is kept it so that anybody can learn Unreal. And as a consequence, people have started using it for all sorts of things. For example,
Fortnite?
Well, not just Fortnite. Fortnite has been a colossal success, and I'm sure that they've paid their dues on that. I'm thinking more in terms of volumes and LED lighting setups and people using Unreal.
Oh, you mean You mean live broadcast, live productions? Yeah, live productions walls.
Yeah, for example, Disney using it on The Mandalorian and making everyone go, "Oh wow, this is the best thing in the whole wide world ever. We have to do that." And LED volumes essentially appearing all over the place. There's one run by Carbon Digital, a firm based in Media City, but they run this their LED system not too far away from Media City, and they're doing really well with it, and it's brilliant. And I don't know whether they've made their first million or not yet. Who knows? But I'm damn sure that Disney have. And as of about a week and a half ago, from where we are right now, that is going to change as of 2024. In the fact that if you want to use it for anything other than indie games, you will have to pay for each seat of Unreal with a yearly figure, which could be a monthly subscription. But at the minute, that monthly figure per seat is, I think, about £1,500. So it's going to be somewhere like, was it £200 a month or something?
Well, yeah, but Tim did say that there were thresholds going to be worked out, and the fine detail had not been worked out yet.
No.
It was an interesting opening speech that Tim did, didn't he, to the conference, because that's where he announced
Yes.
it. It was almost, this is unscripted. I am just going to tell you how I feel, and let's get it all out there in the open. This is the company's in a place where he didn't want it to be. It had, obviously there'd been a lot of growth with Epic. They've bought a lot of subsidiary companies. They brought in a lot of technology as a part of that, and I think the general ambition from Epic has been to become a DCC in its own right. So it's going to be a digital content creation package rather than a game engine. So now we're seeing, with Nanite and then Lumen and all the extra bits and pieces that have come in. Now we've got character rigging. We've got the metahumans. So content creation has never been more seamless. And to top that off, the amazing work that the Epic education team have done with their fellowship program has been a mighty investment. To talk about rolling out a global education program. I mean, it's not lost that they call it the fellowship, and I suppose there's a dainty little nod to Tolkien there, about the worlds that Tolkien built. But by making these fellows that are essentially Unreal educators and widening the Unreal understanding of this new DCC, and they've got some really cool people to get involved, like Sir Wade and people like that have really come on board. It wasn't a surprise that at some point the butcher's bill needed to be paid, and I think Tim addressed that, because obviously there's the downside of growth is that you have to make the return on investment at some point. And as a result of that, of quite a lot of cost-cutting exercises that these departments, as they've now become a part of Epic, have gone through, according to Tim in his speech, they didn't quite make the number that they needed to make. And sadly, quite a few, well, not just quite a few, a lot of really talented people, were unfortunately let go of their positions. I mean, LinkedIn, I think, was a wash with, I think, the shock of it, because I think, like you say, people take it for granted. Like you said at the beginning, you just take it for granted. Epic's Unreal Engine will be free.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have made a fair bit of money off the back of that. So I do get the reason why they're doing it, and I'm sure, and I think you and I have discussed this before, but I think possibly, well, it will have been off camera, as it were. We discussed the fact that when it comes to a shareholder of a business, you at some point you want to see some money back based upon your investment, and I'm sure they've probably been sitting there going, how long is this going to be free for? And I'm sure that Tim's been feeling the pressure of this on the back of his head.
Yeah.
Just people saying, okay, all this is great, but where's our money?
Well, and I think it's fair to say that they've been able to run like that for probably a lot longer than people anticipated, due to the success of Fortnite. Now you've got Fortnite. Is it Worlds? Where the creators, Fortnite creators program, which means that you can actually make games using all the Fortnite assets and make new world experiences. And I know that Haz has been doing it with Hazimation. There's Moontopia, I think, that's just been released out, and that looks pretty awesome. Fingers crossed to see Haz tomorrow at EGX. Gives you a sort of timestamp of where we are. But yeah, what I was saying about LinkedIn was that I think I saw the really positive side of social media. When people's green banners were popping up, they're out of work. There was so many opportunities that got filled.
Yes.
People reached out from games companies, from other software companies. It was really. I mean, I'm sure not everybody has been picked up, but it is great to see that that's the community that we work in.
Yeah.
Just on the pricing, I'm pretty sure that Tim said education will stay free. And
I think what will happen. Well, if you look at what is it, there's already a spur of Unreal that's being used. I mentioned it to you a while ago that the architectural visualization industry are moving more towards Unreal, and that's predominantly because, pretty much entirely because it's just so much cheaper in order to be in terms of rendering time. To run things out of Unreal, so it may cost. I mean, they've been spending a fortune. With 3ds Max or Autodesk have been making a killing out of it all, and then V-Ray as well. The combination of 3ds Max and V-Ray, that the two combined have been basically the workhorse of the architectural visualization industry. And so Autodesk has been getting all this money. I know they don't own V-Ray. I know that's Chaos Group. So they've been getting a fair stint as well. But all of a sudden, the render engine in Unreal, because it gets better and better and better, you can render things at enough of a high enough visualization resolution, but rather than it taking 1 hour a frame,
it takes minutes. It takes minutes.
It's taken 6 minutes. Yeah, 6 minutes, and that's for
8K footage. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just it's phenomenal. But what they do is there's this it's very customized version of Unreal, and I think it's called, is it Twinmotion?
Yeah,
Twinmotion.
But I think Twinmotion was a separate company, but that was one of the companies I think that was bought in. Twinmotion's an architectural one. It's been used for quite a while.
It has. But what I'm saying is that the model with that has always been that it's free for the community, it's free for education, and then a commercial edition is about $500, I think. So it's even though it is a very much pared down and very much you can bring things in. There is no game engine. You can do cinematics. We'll give you extra things that we can turn on as and when you need them, such as you can put people in there that walk around. So that's become. I think that was relatively recently that went in there. But there's a fair amount of features in there, but it's still not the entire thing. Hence the 500. So I can understand why it will be more than that for a year. But I mean, I think about it. I spend about £50 a month for Adobe Creative Cloud.
I do too.
That kind of gets sucked into my work financially. So in theory, if you are working and you are earning money,
it's not going to cost you anything.
Exactly. It's going to cost less than that £50 a month.
Yeah, it's the start. I think it's the startups and the indie devs that are going to really feel it when they start rolling out. But
the indies and the startups aren't going to need to pay for anything.
They shouldn't do, because there'll be no threshold for them, or the threshold, they won't meet the threshold.
I think the point is the biggest kick for this, the biggest kick for Unreal has been the media industry, where there is serious money. Obviously, there's serious money in very, very large games, and again, and Fortnite found a way of making capital, off of the game.
Well, let's face it. I mean, yeah, Fortnite is, V-Bucks is the currency of Fortnite, and that's the way that I think some younger children are learning about currency and finance. That they do well at school and they get some V-Bucks and they can buy some new skins, or they can buy some new whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget though, there is Omniverse that is an opportunity for people that are wanting to do real time rendering. From NVIDIA, who are the people that make the graphics cards and the graphics language that all this happens on.
Yeah.
So so the USD and Omniverse, the Pixar stuff, that's all very relevant. And I think what this has done really is almost level all the playing field up a little bit. That look, everything costs you money at the end of the day. You've just like you've just said, you will roll it into your business model.
Of course you will.
It's a great way for students to actually start thinking a little bit more advanced on horizon scanning of, what does it cost me now?
100%. And I think, and I'm still staggered though. It's like, I know they had the big conference and everything, but beforehand, laying off 900 people still staggers me.
Yeah, it's.
How many members of staff did they have?
It was in the thousands, isn't it? So I mean, we've also had the other game engine make some announcements.
Well, yes.
This month since our last chat, with Thomas, Unity 3D. I think they've now parted company with their CEO. So
Well, yes, I think that's a nice way of putting it.
Communication might have been a little bit disjointed on how they planned for the changes that they want to make to come out. And again, this all seems to have been driven by a need to recapture, the monetization of free-to-play games.
Yeah.
With their own, is it Source Forge or something? Their own version, and they just I think.
Oh, you mean of the engine?
Yeah. I think they just misjudged the impact that what they were actually. I felt it was a bit of a hammer to crack a nut sort of thing.
Well, I mean, if anyone doesn't know,
which rock have you been under?
Well, exactly. No, yeah, and the people who well, I'm assuming the people who listen to this are aware of, because obviously Unreal is like the big. Unreal has become the one that everyone uses for like media, but
for media, yeah, but Unity is huge in games. I mean, it should not be underestimated, and it's, I would say, from a games creation tool, for me personally, programming backgrounds, you can build absolutely anything you can conceive for a game, and especially 2D and mobile games.
Yes.
So Unity is an amazing, it's an amazing bit of software, and it's an amazing engine. Unreal is an amazing bit of software, and it's an amazing engine, but they overlap quite a lot, on the Venn diagram, but they also have their own specialisms that they are, leagues ahead.
100% agree. Yeah, I think Unity always looks better when if you see a game that has more non-photo real, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, NPR. Yeah,
NPR. That's one. Yeah, non-photo finishing and rendering in the gameplay. I always assume that's Unity, and I think a lot of the time it probably is, just because I think it's easier to nail.
Unless it's Fortnite, which is cartoony.
Yeah, but in terms of its texturing, it just feels a lot. I think Unreal. I could be wrong. I feel Unreal does texturing better than Unity, but that's probably only because I've seen more instances of Unreal than I have Unity.
Maybe. Yeah, and I think you're exposed to more of that stuff in our business, which is, in animation and rendering.
Yeah, well, definitely. I know that Unreal, in terms of TV animation, Unreal has just become, the only rendering engine that people really want to use, primarily because, actually, no, it still is, but it was free. So for someone working in the media.
Yeah.
But what it would be is people and there's one children's TV show, I can't remember what it is, but it's lots of animals in a jungle, and it was modelled and animated in Blender. I think they did the textures with Substance, but then most people do, and then it was rendered in Unreal. But the thing about Unity, back to that, so what I was saying was, and I'm gonna read, if that's okay from you, word for word from PC World on their online site, and it just starts with. Here's the gist. Starting January the 1st, 2024, all games that use the Unity engine will be charged 20 cents for each game installation once it hits the threshold of 200,000 downloads and $200,000 in revenue. A lower charge and a higher starting threshold, $1 million in sales and $1 million installations, will be offered for higher tiers of Unity subscriptions starting at around £2,000 a year. So that basically means that it's a monetizing system now for Unity. More than just it was I think originally the engine and the installation was free, but there was money getting from subscriptions. So for if you were using it for certain things, so it is basically like we don't just want money for when you use it. We want money for when other people use it. So when other people are using your code. That's created by our platform. When we reach a certain point, you're going to give us more money, which is slightly different from Unreal saying, no, you're just going to pay us for using it. And I think it's no surprise that CEO's gone. Whew.
Well, I mean, I really didn't really get into too much depth of it. You know, I mean, it hit like a bit of a tsunami, and then there was a lot of chatter for about 7 days, and then a statement came out that rolled back, from what I understand, to give the true meaning of what they were trying to achieve. And
yeah. So it has completely changed now. Yeah.
Yeah. So big up to the power of LinkedIn. I mean, obviously there was lots of stuff that went out over LinkedIn, and we do like LinkedIn. Did we mention that we've got a LinkedIn Graphters podcast page? If you're not subscribed,
I think we did, and if we didn't, I think we should repeatedly remind people of that LinkedIn page.
Yep.
It's something really, really clever, like LinkedIn/the Graphters podcast. I think
that's it. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, and also, not just that. What else do we now have that we need to roll out ASAP?
We do.
What are we doing right now, John?
Well, we are no longer on a podcast platform to record our podcasts.
Correct.
We now have, what's his name? I can't remember what his name is.
Oh, his name's Craig.
His name's Craig. We now have Craig.
His name's Craig.
His name's Craig, and he's listening in on our Discord.
Yeah.
Good on you. Good on you, Craig.
Done some tests. A couple of them with a guy called Tim.
Yeah, our moderator, Tim Marquis.
And who goes by the name Gavrock, if you're looking for him on the socials. On the social sites, on the webbage, on the tinterwebs of the webbage.
I think it's Tim's first shout out, so big up, Tim.
It is. It won't be. Tim, it won't be your last. If I had a drink, I would tip it in your general direction. And what John has, of course, got a drink.
Oh, you make that sound like I've always got a drink.
You have always got a drink. No, you haven't. I actually was going to bring in a can of or Fanta Zero or whatever it's called. But no, the point we're talking about here is that we now have a Discord site called the Graphters Podcast server. Because, of course, it makes perfect sense to give it a name that sounds exactly what it is. And at the moment, we've just got a few people going through it, trying it out and stuff, and making sure it's okay. But it is becoming increasingly what I spend all my time on when I'm not working. And true to form, we have areas which are designed there. Obviously, there's the tea lounge, which essentially because our welcome, and a general chat area called General Biscuits, because why not? And then we have a Graphters forum, of course, where people can put on their delights or their woes. So they can talk about software, they can talk about education, they can talk about work in general, or how they think things are, so that everyone can join in and have a chat about that. And then finally, we have our voice channel, which is currently empty because we have a private one for recording these, which is called General Chunnery. Thanks to that word chunnery now becoming part of my general language. So anyone can come on the site as soon as we sort out how to get out a proper invite that you can just send out. So people just click on, go through the motions of joining, and then find yourself moderated.
Yes, we do want to encourage students definitely to get involved with us.
Absolutely.
We are inviting our industry guests in when and where we can find them on Discord. Some do hide, and we do want to offer up support for students on your courses, on the things that you're doing, on any sort of things. So yes, please don't be a but
you didn't mean to say that. I've got a bleep again.
I just realised we hadn't got a bleep.
Well, there isn't. This is not a live record. Maybe they still get 2 channels of sound, thankfully.
They do. The other thing as well, the website's had another revamp because Gary must have wiped it. I noticed.
I did mention that, I thought.
Yeah. Well,
that is. I have mentioned that on the LinkedIn page.
Yep. It's also written actually on the web page itself. Yes. I did it again.
I did it again. Yes, I'm channeling my best Brittany.
And we are going to be opening up some more elements of that website to some future stuff. And it's an interesting time of year, but it's also an interesting time, I think, for us.
Yes.
Work experience is something that we're very passionate about, and we're trying to facilitate that at the moment, which is going to be cool. More to follow.
Yeah, a lot of things which are sort of like flapping around our collective brains.
Yeah, well, they're written down in books now as well.
Oh, yeah. In books?
In real paper and pen things, yes.
No. I've told you. If it's not on the Remarkable, it's not there.
No, but it is in our ClickUp we now have a dedicated page to trying to get solve this work experience issue that has been rolling around for us for a while.
Yeah. And the more people we talk to, the more it seems to be coming. I mean, it's what was essentially an idea is becoming much more real. And I think both of us are very aware of that.
Yeah, I'm going to give a big shout out to Victoria at the Association of Colleges, who probably didn't realise how much she was helping navigate just navigating the size of what the problem is for work experience for media students. And everybody knows I'm a big passionate advocate for T levels, and they may not have been, the right sort of container for digital. The ones that were written, unfortunately, seem to have been written with coding in mind for generalistic coding and not so much the creative coding. But I'm hoping that the new creative stuff will eventually get out there. I know that the work I did on the I think it's called Foundation T level now. I think Victoria will correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the Foundation T level, which is the transition level 2, and that's now published. So people are using the T level, the transition one at least, or the Foundation one. And we just need to find a way of getting more opportunities for people to do work experience, and we're working on it.
We are, and it will be. I promise everybody. If any students out there who are paying attention, pay attention. If you're not paying attention, stop whatever you're doing and pay attention.
It's 50p.
It's not 50p. He said, "This is probably going out live now." That would be it, wouldn't it? That's the thing, isn't it?
Mm.
One of the things we've mentioned, John and I have between us, is actually
we want to do a live show. Yeah, I've got really excited.
We're going to do going to do some live stuff on Discord. So once we've got enough people on Discord and we've got enough traction going on, what we'll be doing is we'll do one of these live, so people can actually just listen in to our general, and also then of course hear all the bits we normally edit out to prove that we actually do sound like a couple of old.
Yeah, well,
and we're not as hip as we think we are.
I genuinely, and this is genuine. I want to do the thing in a college, for sure, or a university, but I need the college or university to have a props department so that they can build us a little pub.
No,
to do the actual podcast from, so that it is 2 blokes in a bar.
Don't you think it better? Wouldn't it be better if it was just like a garden fence or something?
Oh well, yeah, but then, yeah, maybe
small hedge.
Yeah.
And another thing is that I was talking to someone I haven't mentioned neither of them mentioned in ages. I was chatting to someone today called David Stirzaker.
Hello, David.
He still won't. No, he won't come on. He won't come on. And I said,
how about for a packet of biscuits?
Hey, I tell you what, if it was a packet of chocolate biscuits, now we might say yes.
What, bourbons?
Oh no, just general chocolate biscuits. No, proper ones.
Oh,
not bourbons.
Like chocolate hobnobs.
Yes, that would be good. Or even better. I'm trying to think. Those misshapes you can buy. And there are other companies available, but Cadbury's make a big bag of misshapes. I don't know how they do it, but essentially it's like something's gone wrong with the machine. These are all the bits that almost got run away. We've put them in a bag and we're selling them for cheap. So I have been known in the past because my wonderful wife Alex loves them. So when I was working in Media City, I would go to the outlet shop and I would buy 2 bags and I would bring one home and then I would have one in the office. I would open the bag, and this is when there was me and Dave and there was Rick, who were there on a daily basis. And then there'd be Matt and Simon, and Nelly, who are the owners, who would be there most of the time. And if I put that bag anywhere near Dave, he'd say, "Oh, you got to move the bag, Gary, you got to move the bag." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because I've eaten half of it already." And he literally his hand would come around the side. There'd be a child, nom, nom, nom. And I could just, if you listen very carefully, because he'd do it silently, as silently as he could, you could just hear this very, very slight rustle. It's like as he tries to not touch the sides of the bag as he puts his hand and then takes another one. So funny. I've got to say, but I can't say a word. I am just as bad, if I'm brutally honest. Oh, dear. No, so I said to Dave, have you listened to the most recent podcast then? Oh, no, what? That's right. He asked me, what was the video game to think of at the start of the last podcast? Was it Elite? And I went, no, it was Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And then we said morning. And I said, so what do you think? He said, it was good. It was a nice chat. like a Graphters podcast.
Hey, we're back. We're back. Back in the room.
The Graphters podcast. A nice chat.
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about things which make some sense. Most of the time we talk about with some 3D sprinkled in for good measure. Blender. I'm done.
Hey.
That's it. I can finish the podcast now.
Oh, but Blender. What's coming? What's coming in Blender? It's so good.
Oh, do you know what? I haven't had a look for a while. I tell you what, I've been actually, because of work, I have been quite busy. But I remember I saw something on Ask NK. Had something about it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
About some of the new features and stuff.
Well, I was over at Wakefield College this week, and they great big up Rob on your nomination for Game Republic Education Ambassador. That's pretty cool. Like to hear it. Obviously there's quite a big list, but good to hear Rob nominated. And they just had Ofsted as well, so can't publish what they think the result is or what they might know the result is. Sure. But it did sound like it had been pretty okay.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a word that begins with G. Let's see. But anyway, okay.
Well, that's good.
It is, yes. But they've moved over completely to Blender now.
Have they?
At Wakefield, yes. They've completely moved over to Blender, which just on general easier for them because they're not an art-based course. They're more programming. Yeah. They're more programming based. But it's just a lot easier, especially with some of the geometry node stuff that's coming through. But Gary, I've got to tell you this because Rob told me to tell you.
Oh.
They use your videos on Genvfx.
Do they?
They do. Yeah, they do. They subscribe to Genvfx to do the onboarding.
They're teaching the kids using my utter chunnery.
Yes, absolutely, and they love it. And they'd
love little swines.
They really would love to have you live in person do a bit of. This is how Gary does it in Blender.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that.
So we'll try and get that.
I'm more than happy to do that. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, we'll try and get that arranged. So yes, that's one thing. I was at Hopwood Hall College previous weeks. Went and did a talk about the resilience stuff, which seemed to go down quite well because I get to talk all about me, something that I love talking about.
You don't often do that. Let's be honest.
Met with my friend Connor, who is my friend now, but used to be my student.
Yes.
So that was really cool, and the guys there were just brilliant. They really were. Sometimes you can stand in front of a class. I think you did this recently, didn't you? You can do this. You can stand in front of the class and you get no feedback at all.
It is like walking around in a Western town where all you hear and see are tumbleweed.
Yes, and
I crack. Also, you try and crack jokes, and sometimes they fall flat. My favourite one, in fact, I'll tell you this one because I'll very quickly tell you this at Salford, and it's kind of like it's almost like a staple of stand-up, that I did, and it literally, basically, this lad came in. He came in late, and I'd been talking for about 20 minutes, and he walks in, and he went, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late." And I went, "No, that's fine. Go on, sit yourself down." And then he sat down. And I went, "And that's how you can definitely get a job in the industry then." And they all looked at me as if to say,
"What?" Yeah.
It literally fell on deaf ears. I was I was going to try and explain myself, but in the end, I just went, "Never mind."
To explain the joke, it's no longer funny.
I know.
So
I should know better.
But I actually said to them, I don't know if you know, but I do a podcast with my good friend Gary, who's a creative director, and I said, "Has anyone heard of it?" And they went, "Yes, we subscribe." I was like, oh. So there are people out there listening, Gary. We better be careful. Big props to Hopwood and to Wakefield, where I've been recently. And that really brings me to my last bit. So it's Love Our Colleges Week, and this week, and I've just introduced you to it, Association of Colleges initiative.
I'm really quite impressed with that, actually. I really am.
It's long been said that the funding from government has not been enough inside further education. It's been the lost cause really of education, and yet it's the most probably one of the most important ones for students transferring and progressing into vocational studies across all boards. Across all boards: construction, engineering, health, sciences, and of course our beloved media.
Mm.
But yes, so love our college week. Some great stuff. We've got a little bit of an homage coming at some point, I think, which will yes. I think there'll be a little bit of a graphic coming up that we'll post at some point. I love it.
You got me intrigued. Do I know what you're talking about?
Well, we were talking about it while we were modelling it earlier.
Oh right, yes. In that case, yes. In that case, I shall shut up.
I love it. I love the look. It's like the look that Marie gives me.
Yeah. Well,
when I've listened for about 4 hours to what she's been doing at day, and I just say maybe tell her one thing that I've done, and she'll go, "Sorry, what was that?"
Yeah. Actually, no. The thing is, I think as Alex tells me, Alex does it with me. She tells me loads of stuff, and I do pay attention, but I'm just a bit rubbish at remembering to listen properly. That's what it is. And also normally she's telling me something when I've got 500 other things rattling around inside my head, and so it kind of, even though it is her, it is right to my face, and she's she's not like in my face, but she's saying it to me, and it's kind of, and I'm going yeah, and I'm thinking I haven't heard a word she just said. I've listened to it all, and I just haven't paid any attention, and I feel awful. So I try my best to make sure I always pay attention. But just to go back to your love of colleges thing, so the idea of this is to get more people involved in the stakeholder side of it, to get more money into the colleges. Is that right?
Well, I think it's really just to broaden the participation. So where you are working with colleges, it's great to show a hashtag, love our colleges, as part of some of your social media posts. Where you can, if you are interacting with the colleges, get a selfie with a love our colleges sign up. It's it's simple stuff. I'm hoping EGX has got a few people down there from colleges tomorrow, because I'm going down tomorrow.
Yeah.
And let's see, let's share it wide. I used to love it when I was actually working in a college, and I think I love it even more now. Now I'm not working in a college, so I love the stuff that the Association of Colleges does.
Why is that then? Why do you think you like it more now?
Because I can see a much bigger picture. I can see the impact across a far bigger spectrum as well. There's not. It's not just one college where you're working and it's your life and it's your thing. It's the impact, the student stories that change. I've shared something, I think, on the Graphters about, and everybody knows I love Liverpool Football Club, but they're doing some stuff with people from backgrounds who have travelled to this country alone, younger people, and they need help with decisions. And they're running some really cool stuff, and I think they're probably not alone. There's probably lots of sports organisations doing similar things that you get involved with people, but at the root of everything that we do, it's people.
Yes,
I feel like we're gonna. I feel like I'm just about to drop into Brastoff now.
Don't do that.
And we'll be talking about it's people that matter.
It is people that matter.
It is.
I think there's something really quite incredible about age. And they say age, with age comes wisdom, and it's true.
Also arthritis.
and glasses and less hair.
Less hair.
And
he says.
And a dodgy left knee.
He says.
Staring. Well,
yeah, you staring at the bald man across from you.
I've got very little hair, me.
Oh yes, but it shines like a silver fox.
I've got two. I need it cutting again.
Whereas mine's starting to shine like a tabletop surface.
I was going to say the pink on a snooker table, but apart from that, what was it?
There's probably an intro in that one.
Huh? No, because my brain literally went to awful places then, and I had to stop myself from saying anything. No. We are not doing silly things. Let's not be so silly.
No.
By the way, I just checked how many subscribers I now have. I haven't checked in about a week, I don't think.
On Genvfx?
Yeah, I've got 3,840.
That is awesome.
I know, it's really quite good.
Let's see if we can get to the 5K mark. Come on, guys.
Well, I'm hoping to get... I do want to get to 5K.
It'd be nice getting that $5. It'd be nice getting to that $5 a month from YouTube.
£7.72.
Yeah, well, there you are then. Be a tenner then, won't it?
It will be. Well, no, that's what it won't be a tenner. Oh, I see what you mean. It might be. To be honest with you, it was never about the revenue. I mean, the fact that I'm making anything is a bonus. I think I've made like £120 altogether. That's it.
Pays for your website.
Yeah, it does pay for the website. You're absolutely right. But for me, it's always been about getting out the information to people. I tell you one thing, I will just say, I am currently working on something in Maya, and what I wanted to do, I couldn't do in Maya. I couldn't do in Bifrost. But fortunately for me, I can do it with geometry nodes in Blender, which is bonkers that I can do it in a piece of free software. So basically, it means I've then spit out the alembic, and I'm using that alembic inside of Maya, because obviously all the project has to be inside of Maya. And if I need to change anything in that alembic, it takes me the time to do the change and then the export, which is so short a period of time. I was able to make a change today at 5:30, and I got it out, the whole thing, not rendered, but out into out of the play blast for the previs by 6:30. Wow. And that included me having a 20-minute conversation with you while I was trying to do it.
Apologies for that.
So yeah, but
Discord is a hole that you fall into, isn't it?
I could have literally, if it hadn't been for you, I could have been out of this chair at 6 p.m. Which is
it's like working at 2 again.
Oh well, yes. Yeah, it is a little bit.
But I do find that the Discord thing is certainly our little chats on Discord and the chats I have with Tim and others. You know, when you work from home, when you're working in remote office situations, the non-business chats I think make me more productive because it relaxes me and lets me focus on what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and also what I like about it is that the one thing, I mean, the word about anything, whether it's Discord or anything like this, is community. And I think that when you are, again, if you're exactly right, if you're working remotely, it depends, you could be working with these people or not with these people. Actually having some opportunity to just go, can I just chat to you about something? And it could be a personal thing, or it could equally be a work thing, like you said yourself. One of our guests is also part of. He's a moderator as well, but he's like a top. I don't know whether he wants to be like a top tier moderator or anything. But the point is, he needs to be in order to see some of the stuff that he's looking at, because it is important that we get him working on it.
Sorry, Tim.
And that's Anthony Rosbottom. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, Anthony. Yeah, Anthony. Yes.
Yeah. No, not just Tim.
Just Tim.
But yeah. So Anthony was asking a question today about color management,
which was fascinating.
If you can animate, something like exposure inside of a render, can you get this to work outside? Do you actually see it actively change outside in a compositing software of some kind? And basically, the address, I've got color management on this thing. These are floating point images. I've got values in there that I want to be able to see. I'm animating those values. Will I be able to see that effect outside? Because you play it in one thing, like a DJ viewer, and you don't necessarily see that because it sort of like normalizes it all the time. So you want to be able to see if this works. And mostly anything like that, anything to do with exposure, I just render everything out as raw, and then I do all of it in the composite.
And it was fascinating to watch the thread get to that conclusion.
Yeah, because it's the only way to really do it without only way to have proper control.
I felt for Anthony because it was almost like he'd been nodened.
No.
You walked him. You walked him down that track, and it was like at the end of it, he actually said, "Of course, I'd do it that way." I think of that.
I don't want to ever be. You've been nodened. I don't want that to.
I think that's going to be a thing, especially in our community. Who's been nodened this week?
I don't want to be nodened. I don't want to be nodening people. That just sounds awful on so many ways.
No, I'm looking forward to the Graphters growing. I mean, I use hell a lot of Discords, which I think I'm not. This is the weird thing. There's several Discords that I'm in regularly. One of them obviously being a Rust server where we just generally get together to play the game. But the interesting thing is that it's clear that this is obviously something that I really am passionate about. And I can't wait for just getting involved with some of the conversations. It's on your mobile. It's like I can see my life disappearing instantly, and I'll have to moderate myself literally on what I do and don't do. Luckily, I don't think I'll be intelligent enough to answer some of the questions, which is great, But
don't worry, neither am I.
But I mean, even today when we were doing, that little bit of modelling this evening, and it was like, you were like, share your screen, and then I was getting a walkthrough on. Well, I know that, Gary, but why have you done it then? It's like because I was trying something, but it doesn't work, does it? So go back to doing it that way. But it was the fantastic sort of like, you don't do that to yourself. You know what I mean? And you get to the end result better and faster. Am I making sense? I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right. I think there is that thing. It's like, self-editing. You'll hear yourself saying, I should be doing it this way, but your brain will go, no, I'm on this route. I'm going this way. I don't care if it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you do need to have another voice tell you that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
I actually, I credit the fact that I didn't really learn how to self-edit until someone turned around to me one day and said, basically, that's so yeah, no, I think, but yeah, I think everyone does tend to need to have that sort of like filter of other voices.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will provide that. I did notice actually, by the way, that someone has connected actually in the welcome channel.
Oh,
if you have a look.
Hey,
You know who that is obvious.
Yeah, that's Neil. Neil's connected.
Yep, it is Neil.
And Neil, as you've connected, we are live. Right, well, we're live recording, obviously.
Just so you know, excited. There you go. Us too.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if Neil is listening to this one when it comes out.
Yep. As you mentioned, it was, it's very interactive. In fact, do you know what, Gary? That's just opened up a whole new thing.
Go on.
We might not be inviting people in to listen when we're recording, but we could put the topics up that we are going to talk about.
Yeah.
And then they could go into the forum for discussion if we can pick them up and if they're not too sensitive.
Exactly. And also what we've got, I think if it almost like if we're doing this
and give a shout out to people in there. Yeah, give a shout out to people.
Yeah, exactly. Give a shout out to people and also possibly pull people into the conversation.
Oh, can you imagine? Be online ready. Yeah. Here you go. Don't swear. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. We'll bleep you out.
Yeah, you are live on the Graphters podcast server. Please feel free to swear.
Because we've got a beep button.
I'll beep you. No, I'll just beep you in post.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well. But yeah, so I agree. If there's if there's a live stream, I mean that makes a lot of sense, really.
Do you know what? I've really enjoyed this. This has felt a little bit more natural, hasn't it? Because we're just in Discord.
Actually, I also very quickly want to talk about, and I'm going to mention this and I'm going to stop. We had, when I was working full time at Space, we had a couple of the graduates from Salford came in and started working with us. A guy called Emma Goff, who just wanted to work. And was probably, and to this day still is probably one of the happiest people I've ever met. He's always chatty and he's always smiling, no matter what. Even when life's throwing lemons at him, he is literally turning them into a lemon bomb. He is just very, very happy. Quick Portal 2 reference. He's always happy. He's always busy, and he seems to be. The moment he comes available for work, he puts it up on LinkedIn. He says, "I'm available for work." And I see that open to work appear and vanish on a regular, not on a regular basis. That sounds. What I mean is that basically he seems to get snapped up straight away. And I'd want him working in an office with me, because I just think he's a really great guy, and also he knows what he's doing with Nuke, which is always a plus.
Absolutely.
The other person is a girl called Sarah Booth, and Sarah, when she started, was doing comp. It wasn't necessarily what she wanted to do. She really wanted to work in 3D. But she was very happy to be working and she enjoyed doing shots and stuff, and she found herself getting better at that. And then we did some sort of like office stuff where people were basically building 3D models. And I'd say, when there wasn't a lot of work in, it was like, here's an image, build me this. And I would say, do this. It kind of like I was with you today, maybe do this, maybe do that. What about doing this? Can you now add this? Can you now add that? Don't forget that. Keep your eyes on that. Keep looking at what you're copying. Because you're copying that. You're not building something different that has a semblance to that. It's got to look like that. And we were talking today, just today, because she's getting about to put more stuff up on her art station. And she's got on her art station, she's got a Dalek. Really quite a good Dalek. It's an older Dalek, but one of the older Daleks, not one of the new Teletubby ones, thankfully. I thought that was really good. And I said, can I ask how long that took? She said, yeah, it took a day. I said, what, to model and shade? And she went, yeah. And I went, that's fantastic. And I just tried to point out to her, that the amount of growth in terms of what she did when she'd left the university to where she is now is incredible. And I'm so proud of the quality of her work. And I wish her all the best. Anyone who ends up having Sarah as well, 3D modelling work for them, is going to be very lucky. And, it's great to see personal development.
It is.
Inside of these young people who are entering into this industry. And I'm just in awe of seeing this growth and being privy to actually watching people develop and get better and stuff. It's lovely, and we want more people like that on the inside of here, so we can all help out in both directions. That's the thing. That's
Absolutely.
It's the big thing for us both, isn't it?
It is.
Really?
I mean,
and
it
the
is.
reason why we do this.
It is, and it's the reason why I work with Simon Devereaux at Access VFX. The stuff that they do there is amazing, and I mean they're so much further down the road than just you and I are. You know, but I suppose what we're doing is reaching a lower level. No, an earlier level, earlier level.
We're going for the lowest common denominator,
which I've already achieved that. So, but
listen, I look up to you,
and I look down to him. I've really enjoyed this. This didn't feel forced today, which is great.
No,
and I think because I'm doodling again, I am doodling in my books, and obviously I'm modelling, which is great.
Euphemism.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, this is exciting.
What it is,
it's so exciting. So
I do agree. I feel that there's so much going on now. I think we're reaching a point.
But we Graphters appeared in 13 searches this week alone.
13.
That's on LinkedIn. Yeah. The Graphters
1-3.
Well, that's double figures, man. That's double figures.
That's it. What staggers me is still the followers.
What are we at now? How many followers are there?
224.
Wow, that has increased.
224 of you bad boys and girls and
people. Just 224 people. So that is cool. Yeah, we got quite a few followers on Friday, September the 15th.
Yeah, what did we do then?
Was
that when we were giving out the free £1,000 vouchers?
Did you not get that? Oh, guys, wait till the next one.
Sorry.
It'll be better.
Yeah, big handouts.
If you think Mr. Beast's good. Do you know, with the analytics thing, though, all you got to do is tag someone like that in it, and you automatically get like 10,000.
What if I put? So you're saying that if I put Mr. Beast as a tag in one of my YouTube videos,
if you did a tile that said, you know, like crazy like Mr. Beast or something like that, it would pick up people that follow Mr. Beast.
No, but it's not going to happen because they're not. Nobody gives a damn about me. I mean, if I did right, okay. Now this is the last thing I'm going to say because it's now getting later.
It is. We're an hour into it.
I know. The only way that I would ever be successful, properly, like, you know, big money rolling in on YouTube, is if I decided to do a extra channel
called OnlyFans,
which is me no. I know that I'd have to pay them to look at it. No, if I was to have a channel where I played very old computer games to match my very old self, so I'd have to have basically an emulator running on a PC and my joypad, which is here.
Oh my god, you've got a joypad! I haven't even got a joypad.
You've got a joypad for your PC?
Nope.
Oh man, you're not even living. I tell you.
No, I'm a WASD type of guy.
Yeah, you see, I'm left-handed, so I'm an up, down, left, right kind of guy.
So on that bombshell,
bang, 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 bang.
On that bombshell,
on that shell of bombage. Yeah,
do check out Association of Colleges Love Our Colleges Week. It's good stuff.
It is, and it's nice, as you say, to see people getting involved and showing, you know, how important these FE colleges are, because they are.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
They are indeed.
So, I think that I love this Discord channel. Got to say it. Really do love it.
I do too. The live recordings will be fun. That is for sure.
Yes. If you've cut out the last 20 minutes of conversation, which you probably will, names were mentioned, and we shall see how that unfolds. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are taking names. We are writing things down.
Yeah.
We are coming for your children.
Yeah. Tim, we can see you're online right now as of recording, so we can see Rob's online, and of course our good friend Neil Gallagher has joined the channel. And
it's about time as well.
It is.
It's about damn time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
What's wrong with me tonight? I don't know.
You're all giddy. I mean, it's me that's been on the pop.
I am a little bit giddy.
Cool. Well, there we go. So, shall we say our goodbyes?
And call it a night.
Let's do
as
that.
Fast as we can.
Okay.
So.
Good night, Gary.
Good night, John. It's always a pleasure, never a chore, to spend time with one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world. Thank you again for joining me.
And when he's not available, I'm free.
That's the one. Take care, mate.
Take care. I'll see you later.
Speak to you later. Bye.
Bye.
work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. Any opinions stated during the course of this podcast belong purely to myself and to John and are based at the time that we record this. The theme music is My Everything by DJ Quads. If you like that, and I'm sure you probably did, there is a lot more of his great stuff which you can find at soundcloud.com/DJ Quads, or his music is also promoted by www.free-stock-music.com.